everyone, I'm Jennifer Nash, an economic and market research analyst for Verify. Today, I'm excited to look at some of the latest data points from the January jobs report. So let's dive right in. The January jobs report came in much hotter than expected. We saw 353,000 jobs added last month, which was almost twice as much as the expected addition of 187,000 new jobs. Additionally, and almost just as noteworthy, we saw December's jobs numbers revised higher. With the latest revisions, the 3-month moving average's downward trajectory has been sharply reversed, as seen by the purple line in this chart. The latest average has now jumped to its highest level since March. This next chart features the unemployment rate as represented by the red line in the bottom series and the S&P 500 as represented by the purple line in the top series. Also shown are the recessions during this time frame, which are the gray shaded areas. In this chart, we can look at the relationship between unemployment, recessions, and the S&P 500. A closer look tells us that unemployment is usually a lagging indicator that moves inversely with equity prices. So during recessions, we can see the unemployment rate rise, while at the same time we see equity prices falling. The latest unemployment rate came in at 3.7%, which was unchanged from December, and this was lower than the forecasted 3.8% rate. Unemployment has now sat below 4% for the past 24 months, which is the longest streak that has happened since the late 1960s during the run-up to the 1969-1970 recession. Speaking of recessions, let's now take a look at the unemployment rate as a recession indicator. More specifically, let's look at the cycle troughs in the unemployment rate as a recession indicator. So looking at this chart, the 12-month moving average of the unemployment rate is represented by the purple line, with troughs highlighted as green dots. In the upper left-hand corner, the inset table shows that the correlation between the troughs and recession starts is remarkably close. The most recent trough in the series occurred in June 2023, where the 12-month moving average fell to its lowest level since January 1970. So that was 7 months ago, well above the average 2-month lead time. Only one recession has had a longer lead time, which was the 1990 recession, where the trough led the recession start by 9 months. No recession has been called yet, but based on this indicator, I don't think we're out of the woods just yet. Okay, so this next chart is an overlay of the unemployment rate and the employment population ratio. This is the ratio of the number of employed people to the total civilian population ages 16 and over. Unlike the unemployment rate, this ratio does include unemployed people who are not looking for jobs, whereas unemployed people who have given up looking for a job are not included in the unemployment rate. As we can see, the inverse correlation between the two series is obvious. As one series increases, the other one declines. In April 2020, because of the COVID pandemic, we saw the employment population ratio drop to its lowest level in series history. Since then, it's been gradually climbing to its pre-pandemic range. The latest employment population ratio is at 60.2%, up slightly from December. Okay, and our last chart looks at the labor force participation rate. This series measures the percentage of working age people who are employed or actively seeking work. The current rate is at 62.5%, unchanged from December. Over the past few years, the labor force participation rate has hovered in the 62% range, but is yet to consistently stay at pre-pandemic levels. These last two charts of the employment population ratio and the participation rate will be very interesting to watch going forward. Baby boomer retirement will continue to be a downward force on this ratio. The oldest of them were eligible for early retirement when the Great Recession began, and the transition of the boomer cohort to full retirement age won't end until 2030. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I hope you found our discussion on the January jobs report insightful. For more economic analysis and market insights, you can find my content regularly on the Advisor Perspectives website under the AP Charts section.